Oh, in my last video, I forgot too that I also did want to talk about what had happened last week. I didn't expect all the way things went down. This is a good reminder to myself that it was scary, but it wasn't nearly as scary as it could have been. So after work on Monday, I had an appointment with my psychiatrist, and I decided before I went in that I was going to be really super honest with him. And, at some point I looked down, I'm like, my appointment is going way, way over an hour. It ended up being almost 2 hours because he was, what I realize now, was stalling me leaving until he could talk to his supervisor. He had initially recommended that I just think about going to Huron Oaks, but when I wasn't all that receptive to that, I think he was a little concerned too. He went and talked to his supervisor, and then at this point, my husband was at the office too, because my psychiatrist insisted that I get a ride instead of trying to take the bus. And we sat down and she listened to what my psychiatrist said, and she talked to me a little bit, and she said, honestly, I recommend that you go inpatient. And I agreed to it, just believing, and it was true that my judgment was probably not the best at the moment, so I'm going to believe what my doctor is saying here and what his supervisor is saying here. And so I told my husband, just take her over to the ER, and we're going to go ahead and call in ahead of her so that the hospital's got a heads up on what's happening. And I went over to the ER, and I had probably one of the shortest sits in the ER of anybody I talked to. I was only in there for about 5 or 6 hours. Most people, they had initially quoted me 15 to 18 hours sitting in the ER, and I was thankful that was not the case. I went in around 5:30. I guess it was earlier than that because dinner time at the hospitals was like at 5. And I ended up having dinner there. And I ended up having to talk to so many people and tell them what was happening with me. And then by about 10:30, 11 o'clock in the evening, they said, okay, we're ready to take you on to psych. And they did. They took me on the psych. They made sure that I didn't have anything on me that I was going to hurt myself with. And it took them a while to get me my meds, so I was up for a while. I was probably up until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, even though I got on unit about 11. So I just waited. I paced around my room a bit. I straightened things up, put things, the bathroom things they gave me. I organized those a little bit. I brushed my teeth. And then I just waited until they gave me my meds, and I went to sleep. And then I woke up Tuesday morning on the unit. And I was there until Thursday afternoon. I guess it was closer to Thursday evening. Overall, it was a good hospital stay. I felt better coming out than I went in. I had a private room. It's actually a really good hospital. we actually had time outside in the courtyard, and there were a lot of groups, and they really made sure people participated in things, and that people had a chance to really be social, which was completely unlike the other hospital I was in. I actually spent most of my waking hours, either in group or spending time with fellow patients. I met some really cool people while I was there, and we spent a whole lot of time sitting around the one shared computer, sharing YouTube videos and laughing and dancing and trying to see how many of us would fit on the scale. And we were just having fun for being on a psych ward. Really nice folks. I, never got a chance to really do this after my first hospitalization, so I really want to do this now. And yeah, like I said, where I am was just really so good. And, for the most part, the nurses and doctors there were just really good and really helpful, and would really involve me in my treatment, which I really appreciated. I had a nurse actually sit down and talk to me for a good 10 minutes. Actually wanted to get to know me, which I appreciated. And then my psychiatrist on unit was so terrific that I'm actually sad that I don't have him as an outpatient psychiatrist. I hope my outpatient psychiatrist ends up being this good, because this was my first visit with him, and this was more of a crisis situation, which means that I didn't really get to know him. And I hope that I really do develop a good, patient relationship with him. Yep, so that's about it. Bye.